Isaac McCaslin is a Savannah-based fine artist whose narrative-driven work explores the interplay of history, identity, and the human experience. With a B.F.A. in painting from the Savannah College of Art and Design, Magna Cum Laude, McCaslin has received accolades at regional, national, and international levels. McCaslin's practice is rooted in Renaissance and Baroque techniques, reimagined through a contemporary lens. His oil paintings, often described as evocative and thought-provoking, navigate themes of mortality, memory, and the collective human psyche. His works have been exhibited in galleries, museums, and public spaces across the U.S., earning places in private, corporate, and museum collections. Isaac was the Incubator Artist at Arts Southeast for 2025, the second year of that program. His studio residency just ended in February, and he was part of the Eastside 11 studio crawl and group show at Ology Gallery that ran through February and March of 2026. That concluded the day prior to this interview's recording. Join us as McCaslin talks about weekly Savannah Open Model sessions held at Art Southeast, how he illuminates figures from within, and his beloved and delicious pet goats / former models.
Yeah, all stuff in the mix right here.
Dude.
It'll be easier for me to talk if I can look at work that I'm working on.
That's fair.
And then I'll grab a couple more. Grab a couple of these. Yeah, because I kind of want to talk about, I get into process a lot, and oil painting for me is very much like it's a spiritual thing. It is as close to like as a religion I can get. I do these Savannah Open Model sessions. That's where we draw from the live model.
And that's at Art Southeast upstairs.
Yeah, upstairs at Art Southeast. And that is like, so today's Sunday, we do it every Sunday.
And that's your baby. You're the creator of this guy.
Yeah.
Dude.
But it's I see it as like a ritual practice of like honing. For artists, it's like exercise. It's like going to the gym. You gotta hone your eye. You gotta keep it sharp. And these are kind of like gestures that we do. We on Sundays we do. It's a very structured thing, and we start off with 3 minutes. Like we do 7 poses that are 3 minutes long. Then we take a 5-minute break, and the model gets up there and they pose, and we play music. So these are all kind of like faster, fresh marks. There's something beautiful about like the freshness of like a mark where there's nothing, and then you like quickly jot it down minimally, and that's like the first observation. There was nothing and now there's something. But like when you make like just a one mark, the amount that you can see, the amount of information that can be there when there's less is greater, and so there's a difference between that and then like a fully developed work here, whereas there's just like so much detail. But like so like anyway, my name's Isaac.
Yeah,
you got it going?
Yeah, it's on. You want to introduce yourself first?
Okay, yeah, all right, so yeah, okay, talking to the mic now, and thank you so much for coming. We're in my humble abode, my studio home, and my name's Isaac McCaslin. I'm a Southern painter. I've got a studio at Art Southeast where we do Savannah Open Model sessions, and this is my studio where I make the work. And I really love this neighborhood. There's a lot of artists in this neighborhood. Yep. We just did a show called the Eastside 11, and it's just like artists just like me with like, this is where we live. We live here on the East Side. We got our studios. I like turned my whole house into an art studio.
It's crazy. This is amazing. I've never seen anything like this. And because it's a podcast, right? It like nobody can see it. There are like false gallery walls, like mesh gallery walls with piping throughout the bottom floor of the house, and the entire thing is an art gallery, like surrounded by paintings hung up. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Nice. I'm glad you think so. I spent, I love to do this, and when Chris Moss started Chris Moss is in the neighborhood. He started the art walk.
He was on a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, great. Oh man, I mean, like, so much props to that guy, because like the only reason I even like learned that there were so many artists in this neighborhood was because he was doing the art walk, and I was like, whoa, there's an art walk in Avondale Victory Heights. This is awesome. And I walked it and met everybody, and then the next year I became involved, which we just did this, and all of this is just concluding, like when was the art walk this month?
February 21st.
Yeah.
I don't know why I know that off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But looking, wow.
And we want to do it again, so we want to do it like every year, so stay in tune.
It's just gonna get bigger.
I really hope so, yeah. And it was a great turnout,
Did you keep count of how many people came through?
I should have kept better count.
Nobody did. I talked to half of you and nobody counted, and like we're just guessing a couple hundred people.
For me, it was. I had a nice crowd. Like, Arthur Shuey came by and played the harmonica. So
Cool.
so he probably pulled in more people too, because you could hear it from the streets, But Arthur Shuey's a cool guy. He sat right there and just pulled out his harmonica, playing like Mississippi Blues, which is just like my tune, Mississippi. Look at this painting right here. This is my like southern painting kind of, but this is what did I title this? I want to talk loud for the mic, but I titled this. I'll talk over here. I titled this painting. Awakening the Heartbeat of Zephyr. And just to give a quick description for the mic, it is a sort of like a southern scene, but to be particular, I actually grabbed the background from the Chifuncto River, which is in Louisiana, and but it's like a mix of a bunch of kind of like different elements, and in the foreground there's like this robot dog, and there's a drummer drumming on buckets, and there's another drummer in the background drumming on a bucket, and there's a weird statue in the composition as well. This statue, a Roman statue holding a baby, but it's decaying. A man holding a baby, and the statue's decaying, and in the foreground there's little elements like you can see alligators, baby alligators, sitting on top of perhaps a hidden mother alligator, but there are these things in the composition that are kind of like, they're natural, sublime forces, or they could be dangerous, like the bear in the background, and the alligators, but also the artificial sort of looming danger of the robot dog. I guess the painting is something of an allegory, maybe for like the threats of progress, or even just the natural condition of like, of there being threats of what human progress is, the drumbeat of progress and what that entails, I guess. It's hard for me to talk about them exactly. I like to keep it in an unseg, like here's some things on a canvas and think about it, But
really sweet. And I took a photo, so I will post that.
Oh, cool.
Because it's hard, yeah. I mean, if you can't see, right? So I'll put a photo up.
But I mentioned that because like that's like my southern style painting, and like I thought it was really cool that Arthur Shuey came by and was playing the Mississippi Blues, and that kind of painting a little bit reminds me. I was born in Mississippi. I was born in Jackson, Mississippi, and then I was raised in Louisiana. And I came to Savannah
for SCAD, right?
For SCAD in 2009 and graduated in 2013. And
so we're the same age.
Okay. Oh yeah, I was born in '89.
All right, yep. Okay.
Good old '89, yeah.
I'm a 90 baby, so you're
nice.
We're in college at the same time. Just I did not go to SCAD. Keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so that's and then I now I am a Savannah artist, and
you never left.
I left a little bit, but I always with the intention of coming back. Like in 2012 or 2012, 2013, 2014, I was having different studios around town here. I had a studio on 37th Street with a whole bunch of painters that from SCAD, we were good friends from SCAD. It was real good times, Sujay Shah, Ginny Itel, Jared Seth. We were sharing a living space and a studio, and it was of course Wyatt Ramsey as well, and these are all like just good close friends of mine, and some of them have moved away. Jared Steff is still in town, so me and him are still good painter friends. But we had a studio back in the day, and then we moved. Me and Jared, all the other painters left, and me and Jared went and had a studio together at Up to Minds Art Studio is what we called it, and that was that was on 2424 Drayton Street.
Oh.
Yeah, and
okay.
yeah,
Okay. All right.
2424 Drayton Street. But the gallery that's now known as 2424 was the next studio over from the studio that we had. This was in 2014, and we would. I was also, rooming with Clinton Edminster. We had like this. The downstairs was studio space, and then the upstairs was just like 3 stories of apartment. Those buildings are really cool.
I've never been upstairs, but I hear they're amazing.
It was.
It's a weird layout, I think.
Those days were awesome. It was a cool layout. Like those were the good days. I'm telling you, those. I mean, still, these are the good days. Actually, when I interviewed for Art Southeast to like get this, okay, so I just did a residency. I had been the Incubator Artist residency for Art Southeast for 2025, and that just ended in February.
You were the second one ever.
I believe so, yeah. And when I interviewed for that residency, one of the things I was talking about was like, I really wanted to, this is like the spiel that I gave, and it's the true spiel, okay?
All right, let's hear it.
Like I was like a recluse for 3 years, basically.
You?
Yeah.
All right.
I basically living in this backyard, in this yard right here. I had 3 goats. Look at this yard. Well, I had 4 goats. You see that chicken coop back there.
Cute.
Okay, that chicken coop was made out of a repurposed. There's a convent in Savannah here that is no longer a convent anymore, and it's down. What is the name of it? I'll have to get the name of it later. But what it used to be. Anyway, we took their I basically helped them dismantle it, and I built that, and that was for the goats. And that was where they were housed, and I would take them and walk them in the alleyways. And there's a woods back here where I would go regularly, and just like I would bring the goats to the woods to forage. I would help, like they would basically carve out these trails. It's where all the floodwaters go, in this area is in this woods. And then you get to Bonaventure Cemetery and the marsh and stuff and the dairy. But the woods, that fed my goats. But anyway, I was living in like this reclusive, like kind of state where I would just be like mornings tending to the goats, the daytime painting, evenings tending to the goats, painting, no socialization, no nothing. Like it was just like, it was nice, honestly. It was the way, it was like when my greatest goals and aspirations in life are to like die with goats in a woods somewhere,
All right, well, what happened to the goats, Isaac? I'm looking at chickens. Where did the goats go, Isaac?
All right, so when I got this, so basically, it was time for a change, and the goats have since become sustenance.
Oh my God!
But look, here's the thing: is there's still a little left. This is
Stop!
This is
no,
this
that's
is
so sad.
this is
That's so sad. Stop.
This is the back strap right here.
Oh my God.
We had Princess Milkshake, Jemima, Billy Boy Meatloaf, Baby Girl Feta. But look, I know I named them. I know that's. But like the thing is,
you're not supposed to do that if you're gonna eat them.
But I don't know. Like it is what it is. This is. But anyway, when I interviewed for Art Southeast, the spiel I gave was, I was this recluse and I'm ready for socialization. And I remember in 2014, like Art Southeast was down the street. I had the studio on 2424, and I just remember the good old days where Clinton Edminster was doing Art Rise Savannah, and he had like these trolleys going through, and we would make the map, and people would come, and we would do the open studios, and I was just like, oh man, this is such a hot spot, you know, like the Starland District is the heart of the art, and Art Southeast was always holding it up. Like
that's why Art Southeast is why Starland is the heart of the arts.
They were holding it up. Like they've been like consistently holding it up, you know, since those days. You know, like and I've like always just like silently from afar like props, you know, and just been like so like
they work so hard.
Oh yeah, and always, and just consistency is key. Like they're just like consistently
the amount
doing
of
stuff.
events that Emily and John put out are just insane.
Yeah,
like truly insane.
So when I interviewed, I was like, I just want to like so I was being a recluse, but I want to like what better of a way, you know, to like enter back into society than to like, you know, do this Incubator Artist residency with Art Southeast, and I got it, and man, those were good times. I love that studio space. It was perfect just to be able to open up and have people come into just kind of like this, you know, like it was a little less space than like my house, but like it was in a perfect spot.
It was a beautiful amount of space, and you were there like every first Friday.
Yeah.
You had to have talked to thousands of people about your work. What a great experience.
Yeah. It's good. It's good to be able to talk about the work, you know, and really it's good to be able to not talk about the work and like have other people talk about it. That's the other thing is like. That's an art as well, is the art of not talking about your work and to just kind of like get the information from other people, because like it's like the work is the information, like the me making it is the information, and now that it's there, I want information from other people, you know, like I put the information there, now I want other people to tell me about the work. You know, like I don't know. That's kind of how I see about it. But I will talk about the work, little tidbits of information. But I don't know what some of these paintings are about. You know, it's like you wake up from a dream and you don't know what it's about. You know, you have to figure it out.
You mean you're not actively making demon clown circus Stonehenge works? What, like that's not what you woke up and set out to do?
Yeah, I mean, I have a feeling, you know, like, I want a demon clown in the corner over here or something. I don't know.
All right, so what's the process? I mean, these are so technical too. That like you do mini sketches, like when you start with the open model sessions.
Yeah, collecting references is a key process. Collecting inspiration is a key process. Finding artists, like collecting artists from the past to like be inspired. Like when I do a painting, sometimes it really helps to like to find like one or two artists to like really be inspired. For this painting, it was Giuseppe de Ribera, and I put a replica of one of his works in the composition just to ode to that. And the same one for this, and Giuseppe de Ribera. This guy over here is another ode to Giuseppe de Ribera. This painting is called Dissociation, something like that. This painting is called Through the Dissociative Looking Glass. But the painting, I'm gonna pull it by. I want to talk about it, but I want to have it by the microphone. So let me just grab this thing off of the hook.
Oh, you're stuck.
Am I still stuck?
You are definitely stuck. Here.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
It's like strung to the wall.
Yeah, I forgot. Damn.
No such luck, pal.
I wonder if the voice travels through the mesh here.
Through the walls.
But I'll just peek through here and talk about it. So what went into that painting? What went into this painting? This painting, for example, Dissociation was a painting that I did in my reclusive phase, and so the painting is kind of like reflective of that. The Giuseppe de Ribera painting that I was looking at was of a saint who was famous for like going off into the desert and just living, in a cave. And a couple of kings, went to visit the saint and get like wisdom, and then they became very famous. because of one or two kings that visited them, but it's just a guy who decided to like leave society, and but so the painting is kind of a little bit about leaving society and going within, and it's called dissociation, and to cut in the what. How I got the inspiration for it was one part, finding the guy from history to be inspired from, and then two parts, going into the woods and kind of like tapping into my own mind, and then like it's use like stuff basically. Like in this particular composition, there's a lot of like things, like little collectible things, like toys or trash or and so I like to collect some things sometimes. And what I do is I so that I'm not a hoarder, I collect the stuff and then I get the pictures. I get a whole bunch of pictures, and then I can, at that point, once I get a couple of good pictures, I'll like get rid of the stuff. And then from references, I can piece things together. Or if I still have it, I can do a still life. And then I use Photoshop sometimes to help,
Really?
kind of like, to grab my references. I put like thousands and thousands of references onto like a Photoshop file, and then I can just move them around and then like kind of like jump into the mind space a little bit of my perceptual world, and then just without thinking, kind of like let the imagery kind of pull me in directions, like not putting words to it, but just existing just perceptually, and then eventually I like have a drawing worked out where I get the canvas. I will either I will either start in charcoal,
Okay.
or I will start in oil. And these that we're looking at right here are starting in charcoal drawing, and this is an unfinished painting. And it started out as a charcoal drawing, where I eventually shellacked it. Not shellacked it. Sorry, I say shellac. But this is an oil painting. Instead of shellacking it, like if I'm working on on paper, and I want to take a charcoal drawing and I want to do oil paint on top of that charcoal drawing, then I'll do something called shellacking it, which is it creates like a waxy barrier so that the paper does not get penetrated by the oil. But this is a painting on canvas, so you don't shellac that. Instead, I just drag the oil on top of the charcoal drawing with a scraping tool, like a large scraping tool that you might see somebody repair a wall with or something. You can just get it from Home Depot. And the bigger the better, the less destructive it will be to the drawing. If you get a giant scraper, if you can get one scraper and just get the paint and just line it up to the top. And then for this painting, I used burnt sienna, iron oxide. It's rust. Burnt sienna is rust. It's a historic pigment. It's one of the most beautiful pigments. But I used burnt sienna, and I scraped it down, and all of a sudden the charcoal drawing is now sealed underneath a layer of oil paint, and everything's tinted red. And at that point, I can work subtractively. And there's a Renaissance technique called sgraffito, where you scratch. So if you see some Renaissance paintings, maybe like in the hair, or like a Rembrandt painting, you see some of those paintings of portraits, you can see the hair is sgraffitoed, it's scratched out. But so when I drag that burnt sienna layer, I can scratch into this mid-tone to reveal a little bit of light. And it's another way to continue the drawing. So there's the charcoal drawing, the burnt sienna, and then the sgraffito to draw a little bit more, and you develop the lights. And it's a subtractive development of the light, so that the light is emanating from the ground, and the ground means the canvas. It means the ground means the prematura that you prepare the canvas with is what we call the ground. You know, artists talk about a figure-ground relationship, and it's talking about, you know, the figure is your subject, and the ground is the picture plane, the canvas, the pigments that compose everything that your work is sitting on. You know, those pigments that compose what everything sits on. So it's the figure-ground relationship. But when you sgraffito, when you scratch into the canvas, it reveals the light of the ground. And there's two types of light sources in paintings that I love, and I love Rembrandt paintings. I love Pierre Paul Rubens paintings. These are Baroque era painters, and what I love about them is their paintings glow, and the reason why they glow is because there's two light sources. There's a subsurface light source, and there's a surface light source. The surface is called flake white. They use flake white. It's the best white. It's made out of lead. But here's the thing. It's the most durable white that you can buy. It will hold for longer, and I care about preservation. I want these are my marks. This is me, you know, like this is my contribution, and I want it to last as long as possible. And so flake white is durable, but it's also transparent and weak. It's strong in that it holds, but it's weak in that it's a window. And when you use it, it won't suffocate the subsurface light. It won't suffocate the light of the ground. You know, like the light of the ground, whenever you scratch into it, it will always be there. So even though I covered these areas up with flake white, actually there's two light sources there. It's only half flake white. The other half is the light of the ground. And so anyway, I'm just talking. Okay, we just jumped into like me. I can wax poetic about kind of process and materials, but this painting that we're looking at, I haven't titled yet, and it's like a shaman of sorts. But it's really me, and this is kind of representative of what I was just talking about. How like I was in my goat phase and called to socialization. But this painting is like a cool painting to see after looking at this dissociation painting over here, because I see it as the progression, the next progression from that one to this one, and yeah, you see my chickens in the composition, my goats, little weird creatures that remind me of like Hieronymus Bosch paintings, where like it's like the Temptations of Saint Anthony or something. He had his little demons sitting around the composition. I had to put like my version of that.
You nailed it. It's super cool.
And then just little like Southern Gothic type of elements and things that I like to just put like little you know, maybe like hidden architecture or dilapidated things that are in a world that is forgotten. It's kind of how I want the things to feel, but same as this one. Now this is this painting is called Shadow Nymph, and these are all in process. So that's why I was talking about the process. And again, we just see the sgraffito. We see it's the same process where I started with a drawing, kind of like Da Vinci would start with a he called them a cartoon. They called them cartoons, where it was a charcoal drawing that you oil paint on top of. And I'm not exactly sure like his methods on but I make my own methods, you know, and so when I'm working on this, there is a phase where it's oil painting, but really it's drawing, and there's a phase where it's half and half, where I have a vine charcoal in my hand and I'm just drawing with the vine charcoal right into the oil paint.
Cool.
And I'm literally like, some people paint with palette knives. You can paint with a vine charcoal stick, like a palette knife even, but it'll simultaneously tint that area with a cooler, blacker. It's a great way to develop tone and also to not kill the luminosity of the shadows, because the shadows, there's a luminosity in the shadows. It's not just darkness. You know, if you really want depth in your shadows, you have to retrieve that glow. And one way to retrieve the glow is to use that fine charcoal a little bit. Like if you know how to use it, it's almost like you burnish it while you're drawing, and it's revealing the peaks of the canvas, and the peaks of the canvas have the subsurface glow of the subsurface light, the light of the ground that I always talk about, the light of the ground. But anyway, so I'm working with the vine charcoal, and then slowly transitioning to like oil paint. So now we're at the state where it's got 3 layers. It has charcoal underneath. It has burnt sienna in the middle, and then the third layer is flake white, Renaissance technique. That's what Titian developed, called scumbling. You start in the atmosphere. And then you think about the figure-ground relationship. You think about where the light existing in the atmosphere enters into the figure. Where does it break the form and become the figure? Like where are those areas where the form breaks? Which is why I really love these drawing sessions where like you're starting from scratch. Savannah Open Model sessions where you're looking at a blank page and you're trying to find like the first marks. It's those drawings where you can really see like where the form breaks a lot, and there's a beauty of things getting lost in areas, and when you find where something can get lost and it can be beautiful, you found like the gateway to the figure-ground relationship. And when you found that gateway, there's a lot of possibilities there. That union of the figure and the ground, and you can start to there's a chaos to it. It's like back to the ground, back to the earth. Like there's a lot of development that can be achieved whenever you get to those points where you break the ground. But anyway, flake white and scumbling is one of those ways where you can break. I've broken some things, but I've reformed them. So now you're seeing them reformed. But like, yeah. So that's where this painting is at right now. And then the next things I'm going to do to it are color. This is basically just monochromatic. We're just looking at, I try to go as far as I can go with a limited palette. And actually, I want to show actually these two. So this is like a color study version of this painting in a way. Like it's a different, it's the same model, but again, this is like my shadow nymph. And the model's name is Crush. Crush is truly one of the best models. Very interesting to paint. I mean, like
you use him a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. What can I say? Like this is Crush. Like I wasn't like, hey, wear this, do this. Like I saw a picture on Facebook and I was like, bring that. Bring whatever that is. Yeah. So these are we just talked a little bit about process, and this one you could see how like I didn't do the script. I didn't get the details as much. I did scratch it a little bit, but this does not have a scumble. Okay, so this is like scumble, no scumble.
That's a big difference.
So everything in this is subsurface light. What I'm talking about, but the light of the ground and every pigment has its beautiful like full chroma saturation. That's why it's so great. Like when you mix, if you take you take burnt sienna and you mix it with white, you're diluting the full chroma every time you mix it. The more white you mix it, you're killing the chroma a little bit of the color, But if you want to actually cherish like the full chroma, you put that right on there and let it be a window to the light of the ground, and then you get that full chroma. And the same with ultramarine blue, and steel de grain is a earth yellow pigment. Steel de grain is what Rembrandt used for all of his underpaintings, most of them. But that's what we have here. This is three colors: steel de grain, burnt sienna, ultramarine blue, and then I use charcoal, like I was saying, to work the shadows, and I work it into the paint, and so that's how I cool things down. And once I get to that, I'll scumble, and find the areas that I want to preserve that full chroma, and find the areas that I want to gray the chroma by scumbling on top of it. And they call it a chromatic gray. That's how you can gray out chroma. The color is by dragging light, dragging the flake white. And then whenever you gray things out, everything gets cooler, but you have a warm-cool relationship now. You know, like this is very warmth. The ground has a warmth. The subsurface light has a warmth. And then the scumble has a coolness to it. And but it also has the potentiality to suffocate the subsurface light. But you have to kind of like balance it out. You got to find the balance. And then whenever I scumble it, then I will get the warmth back with glazes. Glazes of color, transparent color. And then you can go back and forth. You can go back and forth from glazing and scumbling and glazing and scumble, but it's a slow process. And you have to wait for it to dry, and sometimes it rains, and you live in the South, and it's humid, you know? And so, like, that's my excuse for, you know, having so many unfinished paintings right now.
Yeah, I mean, how long are we talking? I mean, obviously everything is different, but like, what's an average timetable?
Well, I haven't worked on these for a long time, but I started these in the studio at Art Southeast.
Mm-hmm. So like a year at this point.
I mean, yeah,
like a full year.
But it's like I sit and not work on them for a long time.
Of course,
you know?
yeah.
So like it's hard for me to like, I don't measure the actual like amount of time that I spend working on them. But like usually what I say is like a painting like that took 2 months, but that's not even accurate, you know? I mean, like
2 months spread across a year and a half, or 2 years.
Maybe, yeah.
All right, yeah, it's not a fair question. It's not a fair question.
It's hard to, yeah, it's, you know, some people, well, it's a fair question because some people like track it. I don't track it.
And some people work on one thing at a time, and you're clearly not that guy. You get a lot of projects going all at the same time.
I've got a painting in there that has been unfinished since 2017, and I believe that it will be unfinished until the day I die. The second I make that last mark where it's done, I will die.
Okay, so don't make the last mark. All right, this series is beautiful.
So,
what am I looking at?
So this is The Tragedy at Ebenezer Creek. It is a sequence of 10 drawings, charcoal on B.F.A. Reeves, and this is, I call it the Pontoon Series, The Tragedy at Ebenezer Creek. It has been on view at the Ralph Mark Giller Civil Rights Museum in Savannah and the Beach Institute. This year, in 2025, I did a duo show with Mary Ferris, and myself, and it was a real cool exhibit of all of these works with all of his works. He's a Gola artist. This work is representative of a history that pertains to the Gola people, and so the Tragedy at Ebenezer Creek is Savannah history. It starts with General Sherman's march to Savannah, Georgia in this panel, and this is General Sherman after he was toppling down plantations. He had 62,000 troops, and in the winter season we're talking. So when he would burn these places down, an entire way of life was burned to the ground, and winter was coming. And so all the freed people had nowhere to go, and they would have died if not for following the army. It's like what else can you do? And so what ended up happening is 62,000 troops followed by something like 20,000 freed people. And when they got to Ebenezer Creek, about 20, 30 miles outside of Savannah, this is where the tragedy at Ebenezer Creek happened. This panel shows they built a pontoon bridge across the creek, and then this panel is showing where they told all the freed people to wait on one side of the bridge for the Union troops to cross. And then there's a Brigadier General, Jefferson Davis, who gave the orders because they were being followed by the Confederate troops and they wanted to beat them to Savannah, gave the orders to dismantle the bridge before the freed people could cross. And this scene depicts the Confederate approach to capture like that frenzy that was in the air. And this scene depicts the abandonment, where whenever the bridge was dismantled, all the free people are sort of fleeing across, to not be abandoned. And there's a lot of like chaos and worry in that scene. And then in this one, this is the tragedy at Ebenezer Creek, where you can imagine like that season was floodwater. So whatever the creek is now, it was way more flooded, and just hordes of people rushing into the water all at once resulted in a lot of people drowning. And it became known as the tragedy at Ebenezer Creek. Nobody really took numbers. I've heard a lot of different numbers on how many people died, and there's no saying. Could have been anywhere from 300 to 1,000. Like I've heard different numbers. I'm no historian, but like but that became like this PR disaster for the Union side and Abraham Lincoln, because like they were supposed to be the good guys, and here they are just abandoning the free people. And so Abraham Lincoln ended up sending Edmund B. Stanton to the Second African Baptist Church, where he gave this talk about what can be done for the local free people, the black community in Savannah, and how can we not abandon you, basically. And that was where they set up this meeting at the Green Meldrum House, which everybody knows about, and that was where they the answer to the how do we not abandon them question was 40 acres and a mule. And that's this panel over here for the 40 acres and a mule panel. That's the large one. And 40 acres and a mule ended up being retracted. That was field order number 15, and that was retracted after the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. And so that's this. So the whole series is the tragedy at Ebenezer Creek, and that's kind of like three narratives. Sherman's March, the tragedy, and 40 acres and a mule.
Super haunting.
Yeah, and a lot of people can go kayak there at Ebenezer Creek,
Stop.
Oh yeah,
That's so weird.
They do kayak tours down in the neighborhood. I've been meaning to go talk to them because I bet you I don't know, like they would be interested. I don't think they know about. I think they know about the story, but I don't think they know that I have these series of work sitting in my house. but yeah, it's a haunted place. A lot of people feel the spirits. When something like that happens, it stays in the roots, and those cypress roots, they say, you can feel the spirits when you're kayaking. But yeah, so that's the tragedy at Ebenezer Creek.
Where's this going next?
We're thinking about it. I don't yet know. I have options in my head, and I'm talking to different people, but I haven't decided yet. But it definitely has a next. There is a next coming up.
You always have a next. You've been so popular. So stop. You were the Incubator Artist for Art Southeast for all of last year. You just closed that down. And you finished with that final show, the On View review.
Yep.
That one just closed too, huh?
Yep.
Then you've got the Ology Gallery. So you've got that whole Eastside 11 tour and the studio tour.
Yeah.
You've been so busy. What's next?
Yeah, and I did a mural on Tapnell Street, which was inspired by the Slithering Parade as well.
I missed that too.
Oh man, it was so cool. The Slithering Parade is awesome because it's like a taste of New Orleans, and I love New Orleans.
Same.
I was raised in Louisiana. I was born in Mississippi. Like to have that, to feel that in town in Savannah does my heart so much good. So like. The mural that I did, I was like, I want, like, this is going in an Airbnb where, like, visitors are coming to Savannah. I want them to, like, taste a little bit of, like, the local, the real local arts, like what's happening in the neighborhood kind of stuff, And so that's, and also, like, the mural that I did was in this was in kind of like this
So cool.
spirit. Basically, this is my
It's a Mardi Gras.
yeah, this is my Mardi Gras painting. But that's what the slithering is to me. It's like Savannah Mardi Gras. It's like the Savannah version. I mean, but this is what it looks like in the bywater of New Orleans during Mardi Gras on Fat Tuesday. It's just people in the neighborhood making their own floats. You know, they're making their own costumes. This guy just grabbed a shopping cart and threw drums on it and pans and just started like strolling down the street and drumming it. And there's like musicians everywhere. Like every single street, there's musicians just playing music. Every single street at the same time, there's like different marching parades happening. You know, like all on one day. It's so beautifully chaotic. You know, it's absolutely wonderful. And I want that to grow. Like, man, I want the slithering to just like take off. Nothing would make me happier than to just see that become like
a real thing.
It's already real.
It's a real thing.
Well,
It's real.
here's
I
the
want
thing.
thousands of people though. I don't want hundreds of people.
There's like a beauty of where it's at right now too. That's the other thing. As much as like, yeah, like there's this beautiful thing. The state that it is right now is like so pure and excellent. Like. So it's something that you know, I'm looking forward to next year, but you know, I want it to grow in the sense of I want more musicians to be involved. You know, like I want like more artists to be involved. Like I want more, like not in the sense of like necessarily like, I mean sure, people showing up is just a side effect, but like I want, you know, like I just want like more people kind of like, because I remember the first year that I did it, I didn't do it like I was like following it, you know, because that's the way like I love to kind of like experience it is not to stand by but just to walk with it, you know, on the sides. And I had my camera to take pictures and stuff. I got a lot of references. I want to do another slithering painting. So that's the answer to what's next, basically. The long answer to what's next is I want to do another slithering painting, but I want to make it like more like this, yeah, I mean, where was I going with that? I don't know.
You're amazing.
Well, that's the answer. I just answered the question, basically. That's one thing that's next. I don't have... I've yet to... I want to do a show, okay? I don't have the dates yet. And also, I need... Like, I want to do... I want to do a solo show. I want to do me.
I love that for you. That's so reasonable. Like, you have so much work and it's so impressive that, like, just a celebration of you feels reasonable.
But I also want to do a group show, but none of these things. Unfortunately, I don't have dates yet. I was trying to. I knew that this interview was coming. I was like, man, I need to have dates in order to maximize this situation. But like, I just can't. I can't feasibly get the dates right now. But
I live down the street. I can come back.
Nice. Well, yeah. So I want to do a show. I want to do a group show and a solo show.
Do you have a space in mind, or like what are you thinking?
Well, I feel like I hesitate to put it out.
Don't
I hesitate to put it out there. I feel like it might be
okay.
too presumptuous of me to even say it without having asked them.
Fair enough.
You
Fair
know.
enough. TBD, friends.
But I have some spaces in mind.
All right.
You know, and I just want to like ask them first.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. So and then I want to. So honestly, the answer to what's next is like, a camping trip, man. I like
love
honestly,
that for you.
we're like at the end of like a whole bunch of shit, and like, yeah. So
you need
excuse
to
my
take
language.
a breather. Like you've been so busy, and so to get to the end of all of it, I mean, yeah, you need a vacation.
I'm going on, and I've got one coming. I'm going to the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Oh, I love
I'm
that
going
for you.
northwest. I'm meeting up with my good hippie friend who lives in California, but we went to high school together in Louisiana, and we always go to Mardi Gras together.
Cool.
But like McKay, I'm meeting up with her. Her dad lives in the Blue Ridge, and I'm meeting up with my sister who just moved up to the Blue Ridge,
Cool.
and our northwest of the Blue Ridge, and then I'm meeting up with my dad, and it's his birthday, and so we're all gonna be together. I'm gonna have my shoes off. We're gonna go find some spring water. We're gonna drink it out of the dirt. You know, like it's.
You're gonna be rejuvenated, and you're gonna come home with all these photos as like reference guides,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna have a whole new series for us for your own solo show,
Yeah.
and a new series of panels.
Yeah. So once I get some like I need a true break, and then I can like think about the truly what's next. But really in my head though is like the thing that it kills my soul sometimes is the fact that these paintings aren't done. And like for me,
it's
like
part of the beauty.
Yeah, but that's the true thing that's what's next is like the thing that I mostly care about right now is like I need time, I need me time to finish these paintings, because like these two in particular, like they have so much potential. Where they're at right now is just a step of where they could be. Like they could be really cool paintings. And
They're
like
so beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much. But like but I have a vision with these, you know, like, and hopefully I don't destroy them. But I need time though. It's like in order to do these paintings, like before I go into a painting like that, like I need to have 3 days where like don't nobody call me, you know, like I need 3 days where doors are locked. Like I just need to focus. And I need to like tap, because it's like the process is intensive, and when you have so much on the line, you know, like the way that I'm doing it is you're like there's a destructive phase that I have to enter when I'm going into a painting like that. And so the threat of destroying it is definitely there. And if I don't have like full attention, then it's just like, oh, what have I done? Like, what have I done?
All of this work is gone.
Yeah. And sometimes that happens where I destroy a painting, and like and that's something I did, and I gotta live with that. And dude, that's my painting that I've been working on since 2017. I had this, it used to be better, but like the thing is, I went through a phase and I did something and I destroyed it. And the thing that I did wasn't as big of a deal, but then I got like frustrated, and then I just went to it with some sandpaper, and I was like, but the thing is, the sandpaper wasn't totally just destructive. It was a creative destructive, you know, like I made the mistake of glazing it with burnt umber. I shouldn't have done that, but you know, these are new mistakes, you know, and that's what I did. And then I killed the subsurface light that I was talking about, and like and so I had to go in there with some sandpaper, you know, and get that out, but a wet sand. And then since then I've had like several passes of destructive passes to open it back up. You know, you want to open it back up so you can go back into it, and then you know, anyway, these are the threats. It's like you want to develop something, you might destroy it. You know, it's like you knowing when it's done is the trick, and but also don't let the fear get the better of you. You know, I mean, like, you know, it's like sometimes you just gotta say like, go for it, you know? I mean, like, just nothing lasts forever. I mean, I want it to last as long as possible, but it's like, if you destroy it, you know, sometimes when you destroy something and you lose it entirely, it's not lost entirely. Like, you only think it's lost entirely, but like, there's a memory there, you know? Like sometimes it can be told, like, I can sit there and take a sandpaper to the whole thing and it's just gone, but there is a memory there, like in the pressure, you know, of the mark making. There's a memory. It holds it, you know. Like if I were to grab a flat palette knife and just scrape a pigment, you could see that memory. You could see that trace in the pressure that made an indent that created a valley in the landscape of the weave, you know, of the surface texture, you know. And so, you know, you can destroy it, you could lose it, but there's, damn it, a memory. Sorry for my cursing.
It's a podcast. You're allowed to do that.
Okay. But like, anyway, so sometimes when you destroy something, it makes it more interesting when you get it back.
That's true. I hope for you not to finish the painting and die, because that's insane. Maybe a more reasonable goal is like 2017 to 2027. No pressure. Maybe you finish the painting next year. And it's like a full circle moment for you, and it's not just straight at all, and then it's like one of your greatest works yet.
Huh. I like where your head's at.
You know, optimism.
Yeah, I'll put these to the I'll put these to thought.
A painting that you finish and die is no bueno for me. So.
I like the poetry of like having something. You know how like they say Leonardo da Vinci like carried the Mona Lisa around with him his entire life, you know? Like and he just would work on it little by little.
Okay.
Like nonstop.
That's poetic.
There's something cool about having something just for me really that is never done, just like I'm never done, you know? And I'm always just adding to it and making it maybe worse sometimes, but then trying to redeem that other times, and that's just being human.
I love it. That is just so positive.
Hopefully.
Well, Isaac, I have been in your house for an entire hour now.
Nice. What time is it?
It is 10:03. You
All
do
right.
have a session to lead at 10:30.
That was great.
Do you have any final thoughts?
My final thoughts are come visit Savannah Open Model sessions.
Fair enough.
Thursdays, we do 2 sessions. Sundays, we do 2 sessions. We do a morning session. We do an evening session. On Thursdays, it's a long pose. It's 10 to 1. And then 6 to 9. So Thursdays are long pose, but we warm up with gestures. So we'll do 20 minutes of 3-minute poses basically to warm up, and then on Sundays it's more we'll do gestures, we'll do medium poses, and then we'll do like maybe a 1-hour pose at the end. And Sundays are 12 to 3 and 4 to 7.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
And it's always at Art Southeast. Props to Art Southeast. They're the best.
They're the best.
We started Savannah Open Model sessions at the Beach Institute, but we kind of had the rug pulled out and it wasn't working out. But we had all this momentum, and Art Southeast didn't hesitate to help out a lot in a pivotal time. It was a pivotal moment where if you drop the momentum, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and then ever since, it's just been going smooth, and we've got a bigger space up there, we've got more light, we've got more windows coming out of the light. It's such a cool crew of people that show up. It's just artists splitting costs on drawing from the live model, but we're there to inspire each other too. Like just to be in a space together and create and draw together is it's very uplifting, and like there's an energy in the air that we all kind of gain from, so.
I love it. It's the best. Everybody come to the open model. I will post a link to your website and your Instagram, and then the open model. We'll put info up. I'll post some photos. Send me anything else that you want me to use.
I can send you a PowerPoint. I can send you photos of everything I've talked about.
Yeah, taking photos in this lighting of the beautiful series is hard because of the glass.
Yeah, that's the other thing I want to do.
That's the rough one, friend.
I'm trying to, somebody who comes to these sessions, these Savannah Open Model sessions, has suggested to me to apply for a grant to get museum glass on these babies, and they're very right. Yeah, Patty, you are right about that.
Honestly, that's a great call. It's so beautiful, but taking a photo of that, it's impossible. I tried while you were talking.
Yeah. So that's the works. I need to get this glass off and get it replaced. So that's beautiful. That's a grant that I want to put in the world that I want to apply for. If anybody knows of a grant that I can apply, email me please, isaacmccaslin@gmail.com, because I want to get these babies reframed.
They're beautiful. Just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. All right.
Well, that's perfect. Thank you so much for having me. My tiny mind is blown. I didn't know what to expect, but this is one of the most beautiful studios I've ever seen.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Nice. This is great. Thank you so much. Thank you all, everybody, for taking the time to listen.
Thanks again to Isaac, who has one of the coolest home studios I've ever seen. I'll post images of the works we spoke about on our social media sites with info and pricing for those interested. In the next few episodes, April 2026, I'll be joined by Midtown Art House's staff to chat about their upcoming projects, then Art Southeast staff about their upcoming projects, and Flora Rannis, an artist from the Everglades with a B.F.A. from Yale. She'll be Savannah-based for just a few weeks, from April 9th to May 1st, thanks to Art Southeast's On View residency. We typically only chat with Savannah-based artists, but she's a steelworker, a marble carver, and a watercolorist, so I am too curious. I'm sure I'll learn something cool during all of these upcoming chats.